moment of thank you. I want to officially open our program. First of all, let me greet our MEC. Good morning, Honorable MEC Ketsoma Kume. Our MMC for Local Economic Development and Planning, Ms. Fiom Sala, Councillor Mepulani Muhibudu of Ward 15. We also have Councillor Mahoko Shupi, Ward 4, Councillor Lolo Lichoko, Ward 5. I also like to greet our HOD, Dr. Nokweku. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mayor Pulani, Councillor Pulani Muhibidu, are you here? Mayor, we're going to request you to do a welcome for us. Could you please come to the phone?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pulani Muhibidu, a ward councillor in Ward 15. My role is very simple today, only to welcome you to this engagement event. I just want to express my gratitude to you all attendees to this gathering and for your presence today. Let me appreciate or acknowledge our Honorable MEC Tate Totoma Kume and his office, also to recognize the organizers and the sponsors in this gathering. And I want to encourage all of you to participate actively in this event through listening and asking questions or partaking in the activities. My warm wishes to all of you. I just hope that the event will be enlightening and enjoyable. Without saying so much, I thank you, welcome you all. Let's just enjoy the gathering together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor Mayor Pulani Muhibidu. Our next speaker, Dr. Mbulelo Nokweku, HOD DESTEA, who's going to do the purpose of the workshop for us. HOD.
Good morning, Dumelan. Thank you, Program Director. Let me acknowledge the MEC for Finance, Economic Development, and Tourism, the MMC for LED and Planning, the councillors who are here, and most importantly, you, the business owners. Of a series of engagements that the MEC is doing to engage with enterprises across the province, The first engagement that the MEC had was in Sasolburg, followed by Bohlokong in Bethlehem, and now we are here, and we will be proceeding to other areas such as your Karib, Joel and others. As we all know, the South African economy has been highly challenged, for lack of a better description, especially in the post-COVID-19 era. And all of us would recall that in late 2020, there was what we call the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan that the President had announced. How do we recover the economy and make sure that we grow it and create jobs? Fast forward, in the seventh administration adopted the medium-term development plan with 3 key strategic objectives, which is inclusive growth and job creation, tackling high cost of living and poverty, and thirdly, building a capable, ethical and developmental state. And I want to talk about the first one, which brings us here. How do we build this, a growing economy, but an inclusive one? So by inclusive, who must it include? And part of that is that you as business owners who are here are part of that solution of building that economy. So government can't do it on its own. You know more, you know best about the challenges that you face as you run your businesses. As I just spoke to some of business owners outside here, and you can pick it up, you can pick up that the type of challenges and opportunities, by the way, that are there are varied. So the purpose of us convening in the manner that we have convened today is to come under one roof, you as business people, the local government, DFI, and other private sector stakeholders, to say this is how we see ourselves growing this economy and creating jobs. This is how we see ourselves participating in those efforts of building the economy and creating jobs. You would be aware, when you watch the news, the 7th administration is seized with that net to say, what do we do with the high youth unemployment? What are we doing with creating more opportunities for all of us in the economy? And the solution and the answers to those questions do not lie only in government pronouncing on policies, but it will lie on what I call co-creation of solutions. And lastly, that now that we are in Mangaung today, the issues and the challenges that you may want to raise with the leadership here may be different from what, for example, had been picked up elsewhere. So these are the issues that the MEC would want to engage with you on, and that will also influence what then becomes the budget policy statement going into 2025-2026 financial year. And as you know, there's a motto in government that you know, that you always see in government radio, leave no one behind. And it is impossible for us to get to the solutions if you as business people who are at the coalface of doing exactly what you want to do, grow the economy, create jobs, whether it's one job or 2 or 5, you have to take the lead and government has to support. So it's about that conversation today that we have been, the MEC has been leading across the province. So that's the purpose of why we are here. And the invitation, that's why it's not just government, it's you as business people, stakeholders from private sector, commercial banks, DFIs, and so forth, to say collectively, how do we then move towards growing this economy, which is also inclusive and is able to create jobs. So that's why we are here, and I hope we are going to have a very fruitful engagement, so that when we leave here, we have resolutions that we can then take forward. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Thank you very much, HOD Nokweku, Dr. Nokweku. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a few announcements. The ablution facilities, we have 2 over there, and then as you go out, either there or here, we have another ablution facilities this side. Another thing, we have exhibitors here at the back. Please take some time, go and view what products are being exhibited there in the back. Thank you. Our HOD, Dr. Nokweku, talked about a growing economy, an inclusive one where we have to include our township economy. Remember, DESTEA doesn't create jobs. We create a conducive environment for SMEs so that you grow your business is sustainable, and you create jobs. We have to create a conducive environment for our SMEs in the township. Mezin, you are next. Please come to the fore. Mezin Lokman, she's from Mangaung Metro Municipality in the Unit of Local Economic and Rural Development. Thank you, Mezin.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good morning, MEC, my MMC, HOD, but most important, good morning to all our entrepreneurs who took time, left their businesses and came here to listen to us. Doctor, I want to be the first student to answer you. And I want to begin by saying that on Saturday I watched TV and I listened to a man from the World Bank, and he spoke about that the jobs that we are looking for in Africa. And as I was listening, now here's my answer, Doctor. It came to my mind that this private sector that are being referred to, it does not belong to us. So, MEC, we have to begin to create our own private sector amongst our Black, African in particular people, because if we are going to wait for that private sector to absorb all or most of the unemployed people, I think we are going to wait for a very long time. So, Doctor, that is one of my answers for you today. Now, we have been waiting forever for this private sector to come to the fore, and as Memohona says, or as Doctor said, jobs are not created within government. Government can only provide an enabling environment with all the resources and all the assistance, financial and non-financial. So, but we are here to help you. We are not going anywhere. So, I'm also going to explain, as I present the economy of Mangaung, I'm going to try to be very practical, and I'm going to try, as I go along, again, but so firstly, this is a category A municipality, which means that the economy must drive this municipality. It means that everything we do within this municipality, whether it is social, technological, environmental, and otherwise, it must be underpinned by economic development. So, as you know, or as some of you may know, we consist of 7 towns, which includes Bloemfontein, where we are, Tabanshu, Botshabelo, De Wetsdorp, Weppene, Van Stadensrus, and Soutpan. Bloemfontein is currently the administrative capital of the Free State Province, and the size is 9,899 kilometers, square kilometers. Now, this is not very large. It's actually a very small province. Now, the demographic profile of Mangaung Metro. The significance of this information, it's really to highlight to you and also to show you opportunities. Because if I say to you, we have 229,000 houses or households with an average of 3.5 people living in each home. And then I say to you, as per statistics of 21-22, we have 22,000 informal households. You can immediately see how big this township economy is or are. Now, all these households, obviously, it's not in a setup where we are right now. It's in other suburbs and so on. But what I'm going to also tell you is that the level of food insecurity in Mangaung, it is extremely high. So that means that it is in line with the unemployment rate caused by slow or no growth of the economy, wherever people have skills for and so on. Now, getting back to the bigger picture, currently, I think we've got to step up and increase the GDP of Mangaung, because currently it only contributes to 2% of the national GDP. Now, GDP means the gross domestic product. It means it's about the things the products or the items we manufacture in Mangaung. So, if we are only contributing 2%, it is very small. So, there alone, it shows entrepreneurs who are interested in manufacturing, producing products, that there's space. Okay, but now you've got to work out what you have to work out. So, Mangaung contributes 40% to the Free State GDP. Okay, so in this small province, the 40%, it's quite substantial, because then it means the 60% comes from the other areas, the other regions in the Free State. Mangaung then has 40-60 spread around us, coming from our urban and our semi-urban or our rural settings, right? Now, the community sector in Mangaung, it's the largest sector, and it accounts for 36.2%. Now, the community sector, it's your education, your tertiary sector, meaning your schools, your universities, and so on, and government. So that sector currently in Mangaung, it's the largest. So it means that, okay, the second sector, it's your finance sector, which are your banks, like African Bank, ABSA, and so on, and other DFIs. And your third largest sector, it's your trade sector, which is 15.1% in Mangaung. Now, this means that, if you can remember, at some point we were called the bread basket. Free State was actually called the bread basket. Now, it seems as if we are moving away from agricultural produce. We also need to think why that is happening. But now, these three, your education, your government, your finance sector, it's the largest. Now, well, it's tertiary, and then it's your private sector. And remember what I said, the private sector does not belong to us as non-white people or black people, Africans in particular. So we need to think, what are we going to do to get into, not necessarily into the same space, to grow our own companies so that some of you become the millionaires and the billionaires, and you become the job creators for the unemployed people. Okay, so in addition to that, we also have things like, on a lower scale, your construction, your transport, your logistics, and your trade. And logistics, trade, and transport, yeah, I'm actually going now ahead of my own presentation, but if you think Free State is in the center of South Africa, and Mangaung is in the center of Free State, so then it means there are opportunities in things like your transport, your logistics hub, your trading, your things like storage, shifting of loads. Let's say a truck comes from Durban, pass through here, on their way to, let's say, the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, Tebega. So these trucks normally shift loads, and all those things, entrepreneurs, money lies there. That is part of a value chain. So because of our centrality, there is a huge opportunity there. Okay, so Mangaung, again, in terms of its spatial location, I've already touched on that. The population of Mangaung right now, it's increasing in relation to the Free State total population. Free State population, it's 2.9 million. That was in 2022. And I'm sure by now it has grown, obviously. So Mangaung population are also growing. It's growing by average of, let's say, okay, to be modest, let's say 10,000 people every 2-3 years, if I am modest. Now, I mentioned the fact that we are central. So we have the N8, we have the N6, we have the N1. And I think, yeah, I already touched on the fact that we are central, and we link to Northwest, Gauteng, KZN, Northern Cape, and so on. So it means that currently we have not taken advantage of the opportunities that exist. So in terms of governance, Mangaung faced a number of challenges as government, but they have taken serious steps to overcome most of those challenges. And but currently we are working in an intergovernmental, we have intergovernmental relationships with our provincial and our national governments and the national agencies, that's your SEDA and your SIFA, that combined, which is called SEVDA now. So over and above the fact that Mangaung LED are not able really to provide you a full service right now, we are collaborating, and we are still in the space, and we do provide that linkage for you and non-financial business development services. So when you look at something like the issue of the spread of wealth and poverty in your community, we look at things like your Gini coefficient. It means that we have to look at, or let me rather say, the relevance of this is that it is an indication of what type of products, goods, and services people need or community need. Because you also need to do, when you do your business analysis, when you do your marketing plan, you've got to look at where people find themselves, what are all the issues, and what can you respond to. So right now, and I'm not saying you all must go and start spaza shops, but it is an example of a small-scale grocery outlet that cater for your community on their doorstep. We have gone through the process of regulation, registration, and now from the side of national and provincial government, there will be financial assistance for South African spaza shop owners who would like to operate in that space. Okay, I see Memo not getting up, so let me conclude. Now, I just want to also mention the fact that currently in Mangaung, the unemployment rate in terms of thousands, I see here it stands at 4,000. Let me see, no, not okay. 436,000. So that's the amount of people that are unemployed in Mangaung. And that is very worrying. So we must remember now that there is no time. You've got to hurry up, you've got to take your decisions, you've got to become compliant so that you can enter these spaces. And I'm sure when the MEC address us, he will also highlight some of these things, because MEC, what is very worrying in MMC is that the food insecurity in Mangaung. Okay, let me read this out because I want us to remember this. According to the table, the Mangaung Metro had the highest proportion of households affected by moderate to severe food insecurity. The prevalence rates associated with moderate to severe food insecurity in Mangaung was estimated at 34.1% in 2009, and then it declined to 28.2%. And then again it declined to 24.5% in 2022, and by another 1.something% in 2023, and now it stands at 23.7%. So we have people who don't have food. We have 23.7% people who don't have food, and I'm sure, well, most probably that's your unemployed people and your aged and children and so on. So I think this should be an indication that we should really take that step forward. Start your business, become compliant, engage with your departments who have assistance, and just do your business and just work hard, because to own a business, it's not actually a child's play, if I can put it mildly. It's going to take hard work. But I think I'm going to stop here now because my time has run out, and I just really hope I see most of you coming to our offices for that assistance and starting somewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lockman. Ladies and gentlemen, bommele bontate, lo utlwile hore it's not easy to start a business. Compliance is crucial. Another thing again, if you want to start a business, just know that business is not for the faint-hearted. You have to work hard for you to start and run a business. Ms. Zin just explained all those things. Thank you, Ms. Zin, again. Our next speaker is Dr. Mbulelo Nokweku. Dr. Nokweku is going to tell us about the products and services of DESTEA. Thank you.
No, thanks, Program Director. We thought that we will speak last as a department, but I was saying to MEC, we have such a lot of inquiries. So I'll take exactly 10 minutes. What does the department do? Okay, let me put it differently. What are the opportunities available in that's a phrase that is being used. Nkafumana in that department called Economic Development and Tourism. I'll summarize it quickly, what we do. Because of we have assessed the economy of the province and looked at what are the key areas of opportunity. And we said, the little resources that we have, how do we spread them so that we deal with those things? Let me start with the first one. We are focusing on manufacturing as a sector, right? Now, under manufacturing, you can have agro-processing, you can have steel fabrication, and so forth. So manufacturing as a sector is very important for our economy, and by implication, it's multiplier effect in terms of job creation. So as that sector, we do that. But we said, what specifically do we need to do there? Some people will ask, hey, you have a lot of factories in Botshabelo, in Tabanchu, in Puteri-Chabe, so what are you doing there? So there are enterprises that either want to gain access to those factories or who are already there. So we provide opportunity with upgrading and refurbishment of those factories so that you can then go in there and do your business. We do co-funding. So you will have operational requirements and CapEx requirements, your equipment and so forth. There we work with DFIs, and I think MEC in his speech will emphasize it. We do what we call co-funding or risk sharing or syndicated funding, whichever description that we want to give. We have been doing that with SAFA, with IDC, with NEF. In fact, there are a few transactions that we have just concluded with those, including the NYDA. NYDA will speak more eloquently on that. So we are trying to leverage from the money that is sitting with the DFIs, with the little allocation that we have, so that we can reach far. MEC, we have had a lot of business owners in our offices where we say, look, here's so much money government has put at SIFA, for example, not so much NEF or IDC. Let's talk about SIFA, where that money is meant for small enterprises all the way to medium enterprises. And it looks like the issue is that loan component part. And we are available as the department to sit with you down and see how do we de-risk that. We have a unit called Sector Development. They focus a lot on clothing, textile, footwear and leather, agro-processing, and support of small-scale mining. Now, how do we work small-scale mining? Gold and diamond and all those things. Quarrying is also another type of mining. We support them. We already have two here in the N8 corridor that we are working with to support, and others are in Kofifontein, just to get started there. The second category is the support of what is called the informal sector. Under there, you have your convenience shops. I think I need to get used to call them convenience shops. Spaza shops, there's a negative convenience. Remove up in a convenience shop. It sounds better. So we work with them and many private sector partners like Coca-Cola, Beverages of SA, banks, to make sure that we support them with stock, with refurbishment of their facilities. But on the other side, on non-financial support, there's a huge issue of compliance. Food handling outlets, to make sure that you have certificate of acceptability. We work very closely with municipalities wherever we go. So it's compliance support and business development support and so, but compliance support, Advocate Peter, I see you're sitting here in the front. You will talk more eloquently about it during questions. And compliance support is important because, colleagues, in these convenience shops, our sourcing strategy must be, we must think about it. Where do you source some of the things that you sell? Because when we do compliance inspections, we find products on the shelves that are really not compliant in terms of labeling and so forth, in terms of Consumer Protection Act. So those are the issues that, in a non-punitive way, that would work with you to do that. Then the third category is market, access to markets. How do you get your product to be on the shelves of Macro, Pick and Pay, and so forth, those big retailers? It's very difficult. The compliance process for your product to be eventually approved to be there, it's quite tenuous and strenuous and expensive. And we work with enterprises in that respect to make sure that their products comply. If we have to provide some financial support for you to go to SABS and to send your products there, that's what we do. We have already met with some of them here, and this is what we do across. If you look at our social media platforms, you will see what we have been able to achieve. Recently, there was one who has just been onboarded by the Foschini Group. It's into fashion and design. Her products are now on that platform because of that journey that we took. It was not just about the department, say, coming to a department and say, I want 1 million. It was not even about cash. It was about other support that you won't see, the non-financial support that which costs money, by the way, together. So she's on the Foschini Group platform now, where she's exposed to a lot of market. Then we do export facilitation. We are signatories to a number of trade deals. The common one that we all know is Africa Continental Free Trade Area. There are opportunities there for us to export. So we do research for you to say this product that we are making, where can it find market within the borders of the country and beyond? Because we have to access those markets. And we also support SMMEs by taking them to expos, Cytex, Manufacturing Indaba, Decorex, all those, but we are specific. We want you, when you come back, you must have pocketed a deal. So we don't just send anyone who wants to go, but you must be ready for the market, and we will work with you to do that. Then for tourism, we do tourism development and marketing. We assist with grading, tourism, grading of accommodation facilities, marketing. Our entities here, they will talk about, once your product is ready for the market, we package it, we give it to them for them to market. Some of the tourism project owners, they've been to tourism Indaba with us, and world tourism markets that we just had now. Now, the big one is the events. I must confess, MEC, as a department, we are inundated with requests for department to fund events. And we understand that events tourism is important in the context of the entire tourism ecosystem. And very soon the MEC will announce that we would want to have an Indaba of some sort with all event organizers, so that we have a strategy and understand how we are going to do that. Because I'm sure I'm already sitting with 200 and something applications of events that are of the same nature. And obviously the resources are not there to do that. Then there's what we call the support of the biodiversity economy. We have a lot of flora and fauna. Let me talk about flora, the plants that are indigenous. There's one group here in Tweespruit that is making beautiful products out of the flora that we have. So we also work with you to make sure that you get permits and you can beneficiate that which is there. The essential oil market, it's a multi-million-dollar market. Essential oils that are used in perfumery, in medicine, and so forth. That's where we want you to play, because it's an untapped asset. As I conclude, we also have a branch which is environmental affairs, empowerment services. They are here. We can train you about the hidden gold, which is waste management. We are very weak in South Africa in terms of managing waste and monetizing waste. And there's one enterprise that we have worked with in Sasolburg. It's already employing close to 20 people and is making good money just out of waste recycling. And we think that we are not hitting the right spot in terms of that. So we have a unit that focuses on that. As you know, we support you with environmental authorization applications. If you want to do developments, that's what we do. Then we have business regulations and consumer protection. I want to talk about consumer protection. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get your consumer dispute resolved. You can approach us. It's a service that we provide free of charge. And of course, we do enforcement and compliance with the standards that I spoke about. Lastly, Program Director, the department has undertaken a process of modernizing its systems. We can talk about compliance and all these other issues, but if there's a lot of red tape for you as business owners, that is difficult for you to do business. It's also about the permit, it's not going to assist. So the MEC has directed that we must modernize our systems, and we are working with State Information Technology Agency to, one, develop a provincial business registration platform. KZN and Limpopo already have them, and one is being done for us. Number two, liquor application processes. If it was according to us, if this process moves fast, as soon as tomorrow, we should do away with the manual applications. So you should be able to lodge your liquor license application from the comfort of your home, from wherever you are, so that it is traceable. You get a reference number. We know who opened your application, how far is he or is she with that application, if it's moving or if it's not moving, then there will be accountability. Because it's important. If you invest a lot of money in a guest house, you have a restaurant in a guest house, you are stuck for 5 years, you don't have a liquor license. It's a difficult thing. So we want to make it easy for you as business to do that. But you can approach us as a department. But as I said, we are working here. I've just mentioned a collaboration with DFIs, but we also work with national departments such as your Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, Department of Small Business Development. Some of our colleagues from those two departments are here. They will also participate in the discussions. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you, HUD, Dr. Nokweku. Ladies and gentlemen, bommele bontate, le utlwile hore ha o batla ho qala kgwebo, your business must be compliant. You want to open a tavern, you must have a liquor license. You want to start an accommodation establishment, it must be graded. You're making shoes, you want your shoes to be exported to whichever foreign country. You must register your business, have a tax clearance certificate. All those compliance documents are needed. Ntate Matie Mokgeti from FDC, are you here? Our next speaker will be from FDC. Ntate Matie,
Dumela bomme le bontate. Le kae? Re teng. Ke re ba ho thotse. Ka lebitso ke Matie Mokgethi. Ke tswa Free State Development Corporation. Maybe before I start, let me take this advantage to thank the MEC, the councillors, the respective officials, principals from different areas. Thank you very much for this platform from FTC to come and present. Maybe just to be brief, just to take you through how we work at FTC. FTC is an economic development agency in the province. We actually report or a baby department here on DESTEA with the main aim to deal with issue economic development. So as for FTC, how we deal with economic development, there are 4 strategic areas drive on that aspect of economic development. One, we work at enterprise development. More we deal with the young upcoming SMMEs or enterprises. They look assistance, be it the assistance here, financial support or non-financial support. Now, how do we work at financial support? Unfortunately, FDC have funded the grant, the loan. On the basis that we expect how to pay us back so that we are able to assist the person next to you. Purely that's the reason why we take it through that process here, loan funding. The second aspect here, non-financial support. How do we work at non-financial support? We work at broader business development intervention programs. We fund services that capacitate our SMMEs. They just mere training. They issue compliance processes. Others are more mentoring. That's the part we work on non-financial support. Now, that's one leg, FTC. The second part, here we work property portfolio management. That one, as FTC, we've got a wide range of property stock. Say see the SMMEs, Hausa, or potential industrialists, they are more into manufacturing, and also more on the residential side. But it's not more for the SMMEs. Commercial properties, but now the challenge is unfortunately, there are few stocks and properties that are Bloemfontein. Boholo ba properties that are di Tabanchu, Botshabelo, the Eastern Free State, Harrismith, as well as Tiam. Kiona Mulung Boholo ba properties that are who accommodate our SMMEs. But now, in the like Bloemfontein, the relations our sister entities, the likes of Transnet, Public Works, and other banality properties, just to check if they can accommodate some of the people back so that's also one leg here, property portfolio management that deals with the SMMEs or potential industrialists who house the next one here is investment promotion. How do we work investment promotion? Mono ha holo where engage and potential investors. Where we sell the province, or those people can come and invest in the province. Remember, as they come to invest, we create that linkage, our local SMMEs, they get to benefit in the value chain process, or whatever the investor white Lisa. That connection, it will obviously get to benefit our local SMMEs. Investment promotion. Now, the last one, export promotion. They produce things local and platforms to expose the products that are on. SFDC, together with various government departments, this platform receives the different platforms to expose those products so that they get to gain interest. Your platforms like your Bloom Show, your Sitex, your Decorex, Melon some of the local SMMEs to go and present their products to go so that the Honohotola support. So that's one leg, it drives the 4 components the drive economic development. So kinahana boholo ba lona monan you are more space inside SMME development. Say I can drive this initiative here, township economies. we want to bring batho ba ileng ka toropong re ba tlisa locationeng. And in all honesty, re a e bona ya etsahala. Bophelo bo stata sentse bo hlaha locationeng. So as FDC, we also have our role to play in that aspect. Retain the better part of the day hore re tlo lefa information le hore na di loan tse fanang ka tsona ke difeng, or any other non-financial support e teng for lona. We are here. Motsamaiso wa mosebetsi ne ke re se ka nako e telele ke fane ka that information. Ke lebile haholo bomme le bontate.
Thank you, Ntate Matie. Bomme le bontate, le utlwile menyetla FDC e fanang ka yona. So how nali any services e we hlokang from FDC, Ntate Matie ke yena a tla thusang. Meganeo, our speaker wa NYDA o teng. Was our next speaker from NYDA, Nicholas Mutsi.
Good afternoon. Program Director, thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to share information about Wabacha in terms of what we are doing as NYDA. Now, all protocol observed. Now, Rona, we are from NYDA. The NYDA is the National Youth Development Agency. So our responsibility as NYDA is to assist Wabacha. Now, when we talk about a young person, 18 to 35. So all the programs that we are offering as NYDA, they accommodate such young people. Now, the offices of NYDA, they are found in Bloom Plaza. Camera, Mr. Price, next to James, there is NYDA. So, Regulamo, 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday. Now, I'm just going to talk or focus mainly on the entrepreneurship development side of NYDA and what we can assist young people with in that regard. As NYDA Women Wanted, we are offering trainings for the entrepreneurs. So we have a training based on the level of your business. So there are times where now a young person will come and say, I just have the interest to start my own business, but I don't have any idea. So as NYDA, we can assist that particular young person or the entrepreneur with a training that we call Generating of Business Ideas. So the training takes about 3 days, and then the second training that we are offering as NYDA is Start Your Business. Now, in the Start Your Business, we mainly focus on the youth that already has a business idea or they operate their businesses informally. So the NYDA can assist with a training called Start Your Business. The training happens for 6 days. The 5 days is for the actual training, and then the 1 day is for pitching, whereby now young people will come and present their business ideas to the esteemed panel. And then the last training that we are offering as NYDA is called Improve Your Business. Now, in the Improve Your Business, we mainly focus on people who are already in business, but they have some challenges. We might be talking about financial management, we might be talking about record keeping. So this person is already in business, but he struggles with certain things. So in this type of a training here, Improve Your Business, that's where our focus would be. And then the last training that we are offering is called Cooperative Governance. Now, in the cooperative governance, we are also looking at young people by the cooperatives. So the cooperative starts with at least minimum of 5 people. That cooperative, they can also come to NYDA, and then we assist in terms of how do you start the cooperative, how do you register. Why, the reason why we call it a grant is because you don't have to pay it back. But with NYDA, this particular grant, we don't give you the money, but we buy you what you need for your business. either be equipment or stock for the business. Yeah. So the grant yarona also, it depends on the level of your business. If you want anything more than 10,000, the company must be formalized, meaning that the company must be registered, be compliant with SARS, and the company must have its own business account. But if it's anything less than 10,000, we consider a particular company as an informal business. So you can come to NYDA, get assistance, even if the company is not registered. But that only happens if you need less than 10,000. But in a case no longer you need more than 10, the company must be compliant or formalized. And then lastly, we have the non-financial support. As NYDA, we also assist in terms of the business plans. A young person can come to NYDA and say, if I have a business plan, I got funding somewhere, so I need business plan for that particular business yard. So as NYDA, we can assist. But when you come as a young person and say you want a business plan from us, we are going to request you to attend one of our trainings, it's business management, and then the company must be registered. And lastly, you must also give us your business profile in order for you to get the business plan. We also have the payroll systems for those of you guys who have employees in your business and you need a system to pay your employees. So you can come to NYDA and get that payroll system. And lastly, we have the mentorship program that we are offering to young people. Now, in this mentorship program, what we are saying is you can come as a young person and say, I want to start this particular business, but I don't have much knowledge about the sector. So as NYDA will then give you a mentor. The mentor will assist you in terms of getting the information on how to go about the business and other sessions that are important. As I conclude, MEC, I'm very proud to say in our midst we have young people that have been funded by NYDA. We have young people that went through the training at NYDA. So with that being said, the program director, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Musi from NYDA. Ladies and gentlemen, remember NYDA, Batusa Bacha, National Youth Development Agency. Only youth. If you are over 35, don't even bother going to NYDA. I have an announcement. There's a company called Wire More. It's one of our exhibitors there at the back, Kamorao. They're selling airtime for 5 rands. It will last you for 24 hours. What a bargain. 5 rand, and it would last you 24 hours. 5 rand, 5 rand. Oh, sorry, Wi-Fi or data, ne? Yes, data, not data. It just shows that I'm getting old. Okay, 5 rand for 24 hours. It would last you 24 hours. Our last speaker, and then we'll be taking questions. Mr. Becky. Our next speaker, Mr. Becky Twala, the founder and president of Township Economic Commission for SA. Mr. Becky.
Sanibonani. Hello. Nicola. That's a name. Ikamo Bendy, my events father. I'm the founder and the president. I'm the founder and the president of the Township Economic Commission SA. Hey, I'm afraid of podiums. That is why you're full show on podium. Let me see. Thank you very much for the invitation. I think it's safe for me to say all protocol observed. Program Director, don't check this cat's out. Will we pay how many minutes? 15. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to take 10 and I'm going to give it to my business partner to take the last 5. Are we together? I want to do it differently because I understand this is a workshop. When we talk about the workshop, we need to all of us to engage. I'm audible enough. Where's the sound man? Where are the The sound guy? Colleague, let's say all the best. Let's go. All the best. All the best. All right, let's go. All the best. All the best. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. Rolly Polly. Come on, man. You're not going to find me. If you don't do what I'm telling you to do, you're not going to understand me. Right? You look at me, you do what I'm telling you to do, right? All the best. All the best. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. Rolly Polly. Rolly Polly. Rolly Polly. Humpty Dumpty. Ah, Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. The last one. Are we ready? Yes. Who up there reciting? You must look at me. Who up there reciting? Are you ready? Rolly Polly. Rolly Polly. Now you keep quiet. Rolly Polly. Rolly Polly. All the best. All the best. All the best. Rolly Polly. Rolly Polly. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. All the best. 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 Why are we doing this? Can we give ourselves a round of applause? You can be described. When I say 1, you go 1. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. 5. Thank you. Now are we together? Yes. I'm going to talk to you about 3 things. 1, township economy. What is township economy? And who is township economy? That's the first part, right? The second part, I'm here to talk to you about the G20. What is the G20 and what opportunities do we have? Let me see. We've got 2 events for the G20. One in May and one in September. You guys are hosting the food security. And you guys are hosting the whole agricultural summit. Now, it's very important to talk about that. And then the last part, my business partner, Assistant Tiger, will talk to you about what is it that we are doing as the Township Economic Commission SA, which is Texas, right? One, what is township economy? We need to understand and unpack what is township economy. Because if we don't unpack township economy, people don't always talk about township economy and not understanding what is township economy, right? Now, township economy is an economy that is created and run by the township natives. Meaning it's a business and it's an economy that we run as the people from the township. We are the township entrepreneurs, we are the township businesses, and we are the township enterprises. The big businesses that you see in the township, they are not township economy. They are the big businesses that are operating in the township. How much the township economy worth? The township economy worth about 900, is estimated. Worth about 900 billion rand per annum. The sponsor shop alone is about 150 to 180 billion per annum. It's an economy that you can't ignore. As a township economy, are contributing close to 15% of the total GDP. It's not a small economy. Now, township economy is 40% informal and 60% formal. We are removing the sponsor shops from the informal, we're taking them to the formal, because you can't have an economy that worth 150 billion stay in the informal economy. And you can't formalize the informal, but you professionalize the informal. I mean, God. Now, this is why we're saying, let's register sponsor shops so that at the end of the day, we make sure that the country benefits. We need to take back sure that we manufacture our own products. Right? Township economy has got 3 siblings, if not 4. One, it's got the rural economy, it's our sibling. 2, we've got the village economy, it's our sibling. Then the third one is the clan dorpies, the small towns. The small towns are our siblings. Now it's very important for you guys to understand that we're working with the village economy, we're working with the rural economy, and we're working with the clan dorpies economy. Now, colleagues, township economy is in our blood, it's in our system. Nobody can take that away from you guys. I don't care who says what. But what we need to do, we need to start saying, we own this economy, and we need to make sure that we support each other. Right? We need to start supporting each other. But if we don't do that, this economy is not going to go anywhere. Now, it's very important then, colleagues, when we talk about township economy, let's understand what are we talking about. It's an elephant in the room. I started township economy in 1990. Everybody didn't understand what is township economy. But today, everybody talks township economy. And township economy doesn't belong to me, it belongs to us. That is what? Yeah. Township economy belongs to us. Now, nobody can come and tell us about township economy. We need to tell people about township economy. But at the end of the day, we need to protect it. As council, we're doing 4 things. We're protecting township economy, we're growing township economy, we're developing township economy, but we're also transforming township economy. We are not in the big retail. We are not in their shops. We are not in their logistics. How do we change that? Guess what? Can I tell you how? We've got an opportunity now of the G20. We need to change that now. Because if we don't do anything now with the opportunity of the G20, let's forget, let's pack our bags and go home. Because we're not going to make it anymore. This is an opportunity that 19 developed and developing countries are coming to South Africa. They've already started. I'm part of the B20. The G20 is 19 countries. We need to understand what is G20. G20 is a group of countries, 19 of them including Europe, number 20, and then African Union, number 21. The whole Africa is now part of the G20 because of South Africa. Now what we're saying, SOG was talking about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the AFCFTA. You guys are here next to Botswana. How do you guys, make sure that at the end of the day, you trade with, let's trade amongst ourselves. What products that you guys can take it to a last? Kwamashu, Ekukuletu, Osizweni, Esowetu. And let's trade amongst ourselves. But I do agree with the previous speakers when they talk about it's difficult to run a business. It's not. As long as you know what you want, you associate yourself with the right people, and then I can tell you, you'll run your business. Now the G20 give us an opportunity. When we assume the president of the G20, the president said, which I want you to start, listening to me very carefully. When the president speaks, we must all listen. Because there's a problem with it. When the president speaks, we don't listen. We look at him and how handsome he is, as he said the other time. President said, the G20, I'm not the president of the G20 as Cyril Ramaphosa, but South Africa is the presidency of the G20, meaning all of us, we are the president of the G20. But the question is, what are you doing with that opportunity? The president said that let's look at the G20 20 years back and look at the G20 20 years to come. Meaning, in other words, we're looking at the G20 Agenda 2045. To say from now on, what's happening? South Africa, we are hosting we are the last country to host the first second of the G20. America is taking over next year. They are starting a new segment. What does that mean? We're in the Troika. The Troika is Brazil, South Africa, and America. meaning the country that hosted last year, and the country that is hosting now, and the country that is hosting next year. But the question is, what is the opportunity that you've realized for you? Free State, you've got the events that are coming. What event, MEC, that we're coming up with to extend the whole G20 for all of us to benefit from the G20? You guys are also a food basket of South Africa. While at the convention center, MEC, see now with about products that come from there, and then those guys will come and consume those products. What is stopping us as Free State? Right? Now we're saying, let's use these opportunities to make sure that at the end of the day, HOD, Free State is not left behind. Because the buzzword now is to make sure that the township economy is not left behind. Meaning you guys are not left behind. Now that's what we're doing. We're here, MEC, to support the program, and we're here to say, guys, the opportunity is here. It's up to us to do two things. What are those things? One, dress up and show up. If you are called and you don't dress up and you don't show up, there is a problem. Then the last part that I'll just give you, just for 5 minutes also to say whatever that wants to say, but we are saying, colleagues, opportunities are here. If you're running a business, make sure that you engage with your department. We are here as well to support you guys, but we love you all, colleagues. Sister Tata, just 2 minutes, sister. Next time I'll lead it out. Thank you very much, colleagues. Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Brabege has taken all of my time, so I'll literally be 2 minutes. Let me safely say, good afternoon, MEC, and all protocols observed. He said I must tell you about what TEXA does, but I think he's told you a mouthful. What I would say is that what I've picked up from the speakers on stage is that they are not touching on the concerns of business. Businesses are more concerned about how they will grow and sustain their businesses. They need to understand where the bottlenecks are in their businesses. Why are they failing? How can they unblock the bottlenecks? MEC, you have organizations like TEXA, and TEXA is a national organization that is on the ground. They understand the practical pains of business. They understand the experiences of businesses. They have proven their commitment over the 34 years. Without any financial support from government and partial support from businesses. Use them. Use them, MEC. There's TEXA in the Free State. They are ready. They have been ready. Their appointment of our company, which is Mashudu Clinical Consulting, we are a registered accounting firm in business for the past 9 years. That's a story that we can discuss after this, because everyone who's here understands their businesses. They are showing their commitment to be accountable, so that every business and every cent that is put into businesses is accounted for. So please, MEC, use TEXA. They are here. And please, they understand the pains of businesses. The people sitting here have solutions for townships. You need to industrialize, you don't need to consume more. How do you do that? Use TEXA Free State. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now opening up for questions. NYGA, are you here? FDC, DESTEA, because they have made presentations. I I'm going to open up for questions. 2 here, 2 Monana, 2 here, and 2 there. Before we ask questions, one of my colleagues from DESTEA, please come and assist us, get roving mics. Khaneo Diedile, our neighbor, thank you. And this side.
Ntate Matie and Ntate Mutsi, are you in here? The haufinyana because batho ba tlo le botsa dipotso bo ntate. Actually, ke kopa le tleng mona pele mona. Nna ke se ke tla ya tlase kwa. O ka botsa nna.
Okay.
Okay. Question yaka iya HOD and Tate Nokweku. Now I'm small scale artisanal miner. So you could work at the small scale mining. Ki bosaka patiaka ya hore like kinali 5 hectares. I get so more than ki shota machinery. Na this year e hona ho thusa jwang. Mo ke etsa mining teng ya di diamonds.
Ntate Khosa, ke kopa pele re botse mme a re fe lebitso.
Okay, ke Makhosi Motshwenyong. Ke Pentukula, ke tswa Botjhabela location hona mona Bloemfontein. Ke kopa hore ho botsa hore FDC e ka kgona ho thusa ka sebaka mo ka sebeletsang re etsa di-dishwasher, detergents, all the things tse etsang cleaning. Ya bohlokwa ke batlang ho tholetsa FDC batho ba ho ntate ba tseba mosebetsi. Ke ne ke le ofising ke lo register kore ba on top ba tsule matsoho ha se re bua di government re thusa ke tsa bona re di bua.
Round of applause.
Ba bang ba tse ding tsa dibaka tsa rona tsa government program director ba tla mona ba fihla ba re 1 2 3 ya di officing re tla le thusa o comply o apply o tsamaye o ye officing o registration o ye SARS o ye ka o fihla officing ke ndo responde ba se ba o sheba ba re mme re busy o no re ke tena. So hona le department tse nka dimensionang kore not all of them ke ne ke re jwalo ke re di hospital ha di ka tshwana le mo FDC le mo ke tswang teng then
thank you, ma'am. Ke bone letsoho lane morao kwana e le lona la bobedi.
Dumelang, protocol observed. OCOD and municipal question as one, my point is, honest South Africans, because when we try to rebel compliance starter, but we become worried for the sponsorships. Sponsorships, they don't comply. Number two, sponsorships are Number three, do they have a license to sell for the food, license to sell for the tech shops? The government check regularly. Where is our health inspectors towards the sponsorships and the supermarkets daily? South Africans or wherever rebel complaints, you get threatened or you need permit, you need what. But when you go to the offices, you get a lot of attitude, and then you ask yourself over to but meanwhile they're not there. So I'm big worried about that. That's my first question. My second question, it lies to NYDA. NYDA, they say the banks are funding, but it's a backlog of funding. The youth have waited, they get agitated because the government doesn't work for us. But we are the government. They must work for us, but they don't do that. So please, we are begging people from the officials, from the different departments, please work with us, and you must have patience for us. I thank you.
Business legalization in Monana. The person will put in a technical Kalaga MODA, but MODA, na MODA and settlements and taking science of an implicit fix at training by the people, settling of the FTC, the register to Hodimona, Harasa put the kind of business that I'm running. But I was curious for the law and that the material personal benefits. But about DESTEA company that registered for DESTEA. The company to DESTEA, Fela is also the funding for DESTEA. Every time I hear DESTEA, it is to So my question is, what are the red tapes that we need to cross? Because the eligibility is compliant. If you cannot take compliant, take over. No disability. You make a mindset and make a record. When you know disability, when I make a record, I can do. And how much I will how can I say it? So, the same is also the key. Make it go back to it. It's a fair double.
Before you hand over the word to the mic, Hannah Bessie again.
From Zan's place. The company gave for food manufacturing. Started in 2007. It's mostly in paper, not like the smaller color, it's a product there. ile ra bula company then the product because of e hloka hore e be le barcode ramata modumalo jwale ke ntse ke sa sebetse ka leka hore ke thole barcode ke a leka hore ntho the product itself ka etsa University of the Free State ya ilo chekiwa hore under high standard ke dintho tse leng hore ke ile ka di etsa before the product ke tlo sebedisa. I managed to get the logo of the product, the containers, and mahareng hatsi COVID ka fita bolaya the product empaneng fela la company sa sebetse hona jwale. I'm so fortunate enough hore ke kopane le ntate MEC ke tlo kopa thuso DESTEA. The product I'm not sure hore ke bue public which I don't have a problem. The product batswadi baka ke tlo package diretlo gore diretlo ke tlo fita ke dikolmaka in the professional manner ke fita ke di apaya ke di jwale ntho e ke ratang hobaneng ke pheditse diretlo ke hotse ka sone ke ntate wa Mosotho ke dumela se ngata rona batho ba batsho all the different ethnic groups we are using diretlo tabinya mosebetsi di-events mpho ya badimo tifeng ya batsi diretlo is there. And one thing I can tell you about diretlo is so nice, special service. Now, I'm picturing this product of ours. It is not my product. It's an African product. Me as a Free Staters, I want to see this product. We are going. Let me see. Not in the bad way, with all due respect. Kita kopa hore ngwane na re bodi seng kaofela ha tlo ho thusa nna fela re ntse ke ngwana wa hore ke product ya bona yena e tlo etsa mesebetsi e be mengata Free State wherever in the Free State e tlo qala Bloemfontein mona jwale ntate wa ke tlo kopa fela building with a special equipment. Say you hold it, can be a product the University of the Free State, Ban 27, the nice part that product here. If one holds a type product.
Never go question. You don't know idea how.
Okay. I don't have time to hear, Papa. Sorry, any city of product. Thank you.
Dumelang, ke lebogele opportunity ya hore ke bue ka lebitso ke Wanda Kwatiso. We run a registered company ka mona ka mo Rocklands next to Shoprite ya ho lokisa di-fridge. Master of fridges. The fridge, the washing machine, the microwave, and all the domestic appliances. Another problem that we ran into last year, December, the time batho ba mmuso ne ba tsamaya di-shopong tsa makula be le gore ne ba batla ba checka di-compliance and then ba fitla jape le gore re kentse a container ka mo jarateng mo re sebeletsang teng and then they shut us down. Ba ile ba re kwala le rona ba re jwetsa gore Mungaja that the place is not zoned for the kind of business that we are doing. Meanwhile, jwalo ka bontate tsa ba bua the foreigners, they are just doing their business. Ho sena batho ba ile hore ba ba sitisa. But rona bana ba South Africa, when we try by all means we stand up, le rona re lwantshe poverty, and then we get shut down by our own government. So ne re kopa di-solution hore ha le jwalo re etsa jwang, because since now I've been waiting for the inspector, that I'm becoming inspector more sebeletsang teng, they have not come yet. Thank you.
Colleagues, my colleagues from DESTEA ba tsamaisang di-rolling mic. Bomme le bontate, ke kopa le botseng fela di-question, because you end up telling us the business tsa rona. Hosane ha ke qala business ena eo mpolelletseng ka yona, o tla bo re utswile idea e le wena o mfileng yona idea. Ke kopa le botseng dipotso fela, nako ya rona e nyane, please.
Thank you, President Director.
Only two this side and then tla ba two that side. Ntate Khwasi, ke kopa le mme mona ka pele ga a sala imisa letso ka black t-shirt. Re tla tla ho wena ntate.
Thank you, President Director. My name is David Masisi. I'm representing the company Malanga Investment Group. My questions are, I don't hear the municipality speaks about the economic special Mangaung special economic zone in Mangaung that speaks to the combination of N1, N8, and 6, where you can combine economy into those three routes. And the other thing is, I don't hear Mangaung speaks about the township tourism, which is also a concerning matter, because if you don't know which places of tourism in Mangaung, it's very alarming. The second point is Program Director. That is also, if you look at ShopRite, for example, it doesn't have even a one chocolate that is supplied by a black person in our townships as custodians of businesses in Mangaung or elsewhere in the township. However, I'm of a view that normally you don't invite CUTs and new ops to come and tell us what role they are playing in terms of reconfigurations of their faculties to address issues of modules that they supply. For example, we are a free state with a lot of mine. We don't have a mine school in Free State. We don't have textile. We don't have aviation. We don't have a food processing of making sure that the shops are getting supply from our factories. Now, all this, they derive from a point that we don't do proper research. I don't know whether it's because of the research or the people who are organizing this thing. If you look at the UOPS International Investment Summit, and you look at Mangaung Economical Summit that was held in Glasshouse, held by the mayor of Mangaung, you find that they don't speak to each other. So my problem is, what is it that the Free State and what is it Mangaung municipality is doing when it comes to local economy? Because they did not speak anything about the international investment or mainstream businesses in our township. We only have ShopRite, which doesn't even have one supplier from Mangaung. And then the last point that I want to raise with you, Honorable MEC, is to say to you, the bureaucracy in terms of funding, of questioning and a lot of papers that are needed, what is it that should be achieved by small businesses in terms of getting funding? Because the funding model of the FDC, the NEFs, and others, they are the same. And black people, they end up not accessing funding because of the papers that are needed there are not of what people are having. And now you find that people, they end up not getting funding at all. Hence, you find the small businesses and township economy is not growing as it should. So in conclusion, I want to know, Mangaung again, Mangaung, what are you saying about the special economy? Because it's a worrying sound. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Program Director. Program Director, our collective buying power is our ticket out of poverty. But our production power, Program Director, is our ticket to wealth. That is why we are poor by choice. My name is Tami Sander, former MMC of Mangaung, COO of Masilonyana, and the speaker that was part of the team that made Mangaung a metro. We are poor by choice. And the answer is very simple. We ensure that our economic challenges are an event and not a program. And I don't really like the business program, MMC, economic development. Really look at the money or how did it province say, really look at it. I am the CEO of Kasi to Kasi and father of Kasi Consciousness. And I can proudly tell you, sorry, I'm not intimidated but just surprised. Within 3 months, we could have all tax shops for ourselves. And to solve this, I'm adding, I'm not causing more problem. I am prepared to send to you the business development strategy that will make sure when we say Happy Christmas this year, tax shops and different things will be in our hands as a community. I thank you.
Amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to speak English today. I'm going to speak Sotho. Itatebeki. Obona how you are book. Ahuna book. Silele baba. You tried by all means. You know what is the reason? Did you ever come across a child who is hungry? And then you try to say to the child, wake up and bath. The child doesn't move. That is our status here in Mangaung, here in Bloemfontein. Madam, the colleague, I'm sure when everything is about to finish off, you are going to cluster around you. Expect us, because we are hungry for funding in order for our businesses to wake up. It's not that we don't know township economy. We tried several times. This year, can I recall something to you? It was in 2022 when I had a meeting with Ntate Puto Motoko, the former premier, Menton Bella, and the Radical Ntwani, and the HOD, the former HOD of DESTEA. It was a shameful meeting whereby the report of DESTEA was saying it funded SMMEs within the province. Guess what? What was the total calculation of funding to the whole province? 28,000 rand. That's why I started to fight with the HOD and say, where that thing of the overall orange, that's where they started. I come to the last point to say, DESTEA, I hope and wish you come not with hypocrisy. You come with truth in whatever you are presenting here as a department of the province of Free State. Do you see myself? My company was recognized by DESTEA, and I was put there at the front at CUT to present, because when you talk waste collection, waste recycling, and waste reuse, you are treating me. I did it to the point that I managed to protect municipality in 2017 to 2020, collecting municipalities' waste in order to prove the point that I'm in the point of waste collection and recycling, but nobody adhered to me. So I acknowledge and I accept and I applaud the point that we are presented with cheap talks, but the problem is implementation. People, we are now 31 years in this democracy, and the old man is Freedom Charter. So the policies, really, good people, the Gauteng province people are always awake, and they got life, because they were catered for. Please, let today be a burial for promises which are not well implemented. In Matthew, construction, I'm back.
Bommele bontate, ntate kopa o eme. We re tlo nka mme ka mona ka pedi. It tla ba the last question for round 1. Re tla ba le round 2. So it tla ba ausi ka mona, and then re tla ba re qetile ka round 1 and re tla tla round 2. Thank you.
Because I'm desperate to
question ya hae. Akere ba ba ne thuze ke a kopa hle. O qetile ausi? Okay, ke the end of round 1. Re tlo kopa hore di presenters tsa rona ba arabe ho ya ka dipotso kapa di-comments tse ileng tsa etswa. Ke lebohile.
Just quickly, just to appreciate Mayor Anna small scale miner, Kopaura approach it because there's a small scale support unit in the DMRE. We will work with them to see how we assist you. I give only the permits, there's 2 different permits. If it triggers environmental authorization requirements, the plan will choose a mining permit and so forth. Those that I listed, we supported them with those things, but let's work with it. This one point, that we as public servants, how professional are we when we interact with citizens? Only questions slightly more. So, in the department, we have what we call a compliments and complaints platform. You can anonymously go there, or walk in to we have a WhatsApp number. We also have an email that we can use, so that we can, if we not it's not what public service. It's supposed to be a service. Citizens don't have to be treated that way. Spaza shops that don't comply, what wakati wants a match. They don't have licenses, they don't comply. There's a standard business bylaws. I know that says if you are, for example, a food handling outlet, these are the requirements, including certificate of acceptability. But when I'm doing food labeling requirements, whether it's toilet paper, whether it's cooking oil, there are basics that must be there. But there's a gentleman who spoke here who said, we have the buying power. There's certain things that we can stop from happening if we stop supporting those things. Because they only survive because we continue buying. If we were just to stop as part of that process. But I agree, government has a role to play. I was saying, when someone comes with a truck today, I offload a container there, in that open space there. All of a sudden it's a truck shop. On the day that that person offloads that container, and when there's no permit, so that process must be stopped there. So I hope that starting from this month of March, those compliance issues, we will strengthen them and make sure that they happen. Driving school, we support businesses that can create jobs. If it was a Bufuma, is something that you need to talk to us about. So food manufacturing, it's exactly what I was talking about. How do we get your food, your products to be ready for the market? That's exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about. In fact, if you the shop on and I want to mention other products, I've already seen canned canned. I've seen the horror canned and so forth. And I'm sure it's us who are going to buy those things. But where I know they are eating is in places like this. So what do we do about those opportunities? Those are the things that I say, approach us, let's talk about them and see how we assist them. There are people that we have assisted, and I am the first to admit, is that enough? My answer will be no, because of those resources. Because with that little budget, you try to be in Memel, you try to be in Lukov, you try to be here in Mangaung. So I admit, that frustration to say, we came, you said there's no money. And I take that on the chin. Repair of fridges and all domestic appliances, that's the most, I want to even include just the broader maintenance of HVAC systems in buildings. It's a sector that we need to participate. Who maintains aircons in most of the buildings? Who does that? So I will want to talk to you because this is where artisanship gets converted into real-time business. In fact, we are working with Muteo Tibet, we are working with Goldfields Tibet, we are working with Malut Tibet, we are working with Flavius Mareka Tibet. On one aspect, there are in Maluti, in Muteo and in Goldfields, there are rapid incubators there. And so these guys study, they get incubated to convert what they've learned into a business. And we are saying, these guys are ready to hit the market. How can we partner to make sure that they can start their own businesses? Here in Maluti, I know they have a program where they teach you about retail. They have a program where they teach you about what Ndateje there has just described. They have a program that they do on textiles and so forth. And those incubates go out and start their own businesses, and we partner with them in that respect. As I conclude, waste management opportunities, we work with DFFE. In the last round, 5 enterprises were funded, I think, to a tune minimum of a couple of millions each. For one was in Velcom, one in Sasolbeck, I think one here in Mangaung, and another one in Futsanan. But let's do talks. We have a program called Recycling Enterprise Support Program. We will work with the local government, with the municipality here, if you are based in Mangaung, to see how you can be assisted. As I conclude, if you look at the requirements now for registering a business, and there are 2 things. The closing date 2028 does not mean that you should not be able to register a business. What it meant is, don't start a business without any process and then want to comply late, right? So that process that ended on the 28th of February was saying, okay, those who had already started, but be compliant. But if today, me and you decide to start a business, we'll go to the municipality, we apply, we get the permits. Once we get those, we go and start our business. So I heard that confusion and people were saying, oh, now it means we can no longer register businesses. No, that's not it. That process was dealing with these businesses that were not registered, but which were already operating, and that were non-compliant. So if you wanted to open a restaurant, for example, I'll go and apply at the municipality, they come and check my building, the environmental health inspectors, and then when they're happy, I get certificate of acceptability, then I proceed and do my business. Not to do it first and then approach the municipality later. That's a difference I want to make. But second, in the standard business bylaws that were published by COCTA, it's permissible for any municipality to set quotas for how many business licenses and or permits goes to South African citizens and how many they can allow to go to non-South African citizens who are here legally, they have all the papers. So they can decide a quota in this type of business permits and licenses is maybe only 10% or none of it. So it can be built into the bylaws to make sure that we get where we want. The Immigrations Act, your section 22 and 45 is clear in terms of what. So where we are now, we are at a level of enforcement. So that we don't need new laws. We have laws that are there that must just be enforced. Maybe it's somebody can see.
Thank you, HUD. section of compliance later. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Taba ya ka e mona na tabeng ya ntate wa driving school. Ha ke mametse ntate wa driving school is saying he went to NYDA for funding, and then the only assistance he got from NYDA was training. Now, ntate, taba ya bohlokwa mona ke hore re understanding taba ena batswadi. Or when you come to NYDA, we are saying to you as a young person, when you come and say you want grant from NYDA. Now, the NYDA will then give you their requirements, or now what is expected out of you if you are going to apply for funding. Now, one of the prerequisites to apply for funding is training, your business management. Hence, we said to you, go and attend the training, your business management, but that attending of the training does not necessarily mean you are going to get funded. So sitting in the class here training that was not necessarily mean that you are going to get funded after the training. Truth is, like Doctor has said here, a lot of young people will come and apply, but not every young person is going to get funded. That's the reality of matters. As much as we are in a class of 30 young people, that does not necessarily mean that all those 30 young people are going to be funded. As we are here today, we'll speak about Meg here, saying that she was assisted by NYDA, but whenever you have different experience with NYDA. We have, as we speak now, in Rocklands, Mr. Batman, the company high. Now they're being assisted by NYDA with equipment, it's our auto spares. We have Medeli in our midst as well, who has been assisted by NYDA, Palaya. So unfortunately, in that, as much as we'd love to assist every young person that comes to the NYDA's office, that is not the reality of the matter. In conclusion, Program Director, repairs and appliances. So that if you meet, you are a young person between the ages of 18 to 35, please visit the NYDA. We also have a slot, whereby now you can come and then we share with you what are the processes that you need to follow in order for you to apply for funding for NYDA for your repairs and appliances businesses. Thank you.
Thanks. FDC and the first one, for the comment, but we take it as a relax. We'll have to do better than that. Even if there are any criticisms, we apologize. We might have provided services at local to that level, but going forward, we take such comment to build us for greater better. Maybe have may I raise it. It's one aspect in Logisaya brought to her. Generally, an arrangement in the CIPC or provided the services of around CIPC, which look hang at an extra cost who the consultant. Now, services looking bold but on the cover more. It's mostly business registration. Whoever but register a business, please come to our office to assist. Only this process in CIPC under go through your they are closing most companies. It might happen to a company how you need to reinstate. We request if it so that we take you through that process. The third part, BO, beneficial ownership. Most companies they are requested to go through that process. We request if you put that information, please come to us because if you go through CSD process, caution affect transaction CSD. So please come to us, we sit through that process for no to serve that application. The last one directorship amendment. If you want to make any other changes, services accommodated through the arrangement in the CIPC. Respond to that arrangement. Now, FDC space. Indicator Bloemfontein, the property thing at the house, but we have relations with stakeholders such as municipality, Transnet, ships, and if they can help. So we request to please come to the request. I think ke ile ka mo tlhalosetsa hore a e hlokang ha ke tlo kgona ho mo thusa. A ke tsebe haebe ke ile ka kgona ho ke bone hore na ke mang e leng hore a ka o thusa, because normally as FDC if we can't help you because ho na le sector tse leng hore ha re di etse, but normally we then refer you to someone e leng hore a ka kgona hore a o assist, because remember what we do, we complement what other entities are also offering. If you look o motho e leng o batla primary farming, ha se space sa rona, because we know land bank e teng in that fashion. Re na le issues tsa transport where we have relationship le SEDFA be leng ba kgona ho accommodate type of transactions e leng hore di relate to. So I'm also appealing to some of the colleagues if you like to whether FDC or NYDA or DESTEA, because of the relationship that we have, if basa kgone to they will surely find someone in the space along a ka kgona accommodate that transaction ya hao. Ne ke re just to be brief ka tsela e jwalo thank you.
Ms. Zindlockman, are you ready? We can just give you a mic, or do you want to come here in front? After Mangaung Barabile, their questions, you'll be our next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I noted some of the concerns and the questions. Okay, on the process of the spaza shop registration, as we know, the registration period has closed. It was open for 3.5 months. Now, the process at Mangaung is that the first phase of the application for a spaza shop license or permit is that the landlord should approach town planning and complete an application form and submit certain supporting documentation. Once that process has been approved, the next step is to go to environmental health to apply for a certificate of acceptance, a COA. Okay, so the COA would be, okay, now before I say that, the town planning approval would be in the name of the landlord, which most probably would be a South African. So the COA would be in the name of the tuck shop owner, the person who operates the tuck shop. And then following the approval of the township, of the town planning process and the environmental health process, the COA, then those two documents come to SMME, where we are going to further check or vet the applicant with Home Affairs and SARS. So that is the process. So when we find that people submit documents that are not legal, for lack of a better word, we will not issue a permit. So I don't know if there was any other concern. Okay. My one colleague from DESTEA responded to the issue of treatment of officials. Township tourism. On township tourism, we basically, as the tourism department, well, they are not here, but let me respond generally. But not to disrespect you in responding generally. It is rather a lengthy presentation, but as you know, there are a number of tourist attractions, you know, that tourists, you know, not necessarily people from overseas and so on, but people from other towns and cities, when they come to Bloemfontein, they want to visit these attractions, these places, whether it's historical, whether it's recently erected or established and so on, and they want to enjoy our city and have experiences. So there's a number of these attractions that has been documented, like your museums and all those things. But I think I'm going to say that if you are interested in engaging into this sector, you can come to us. We have our tourism subdirectorate, or the SMME subdirectorate will also be able to assist you. And right now today at the Bon Hotel, there is a tourism workshop going on, you know, to deal with skills development for people who would like to engage in this sector. Whether you want to start a guest house, whether you want to become a tour guide and so on. Okay, on the issue of the economic development along the N1, N8 and N6, yes, Mangaung has catalytic projects that has been identified, and I will allow my MMC to elaborate more on those projects, because they had an investment summit the other day where that was discussed at length. I was not there, but yes, there are these catalytic projects. Now what it means is that, or what it means to establish or conceptualize a catalytic project, it means that these are projects that have the capacity to really make a large impact into a particular area in terms of job creation, government spend, private sector involvement, investor involvement, and so on. So, but there are those projects. Okay, on the issue of manufacturing, I think I did not complete my presentation, but notwithstanding that, DESTEA, FDC, they have elaborated a lot about entering into the manufacturing sector. They have also alluded to a number of financial and non-financial offerings that, you know, that exist. So I think I'm going to not respond to that because Doctor and FDC responded. Okay, on the issue of engaging with tertiary institutions, Mangaung, on a continuous basis, we do work with UFS, we work with CUT as well. Those are the two. So, and in terms of ensuring that there are proper economic analysis and research and responses to questions that we as officials may not have, yes, we do have a very consistent relationship with our tertiary institutions. On the issue of bureaucracy of funding of government and this red tape and the excessive compliance, I must say that yes, it is very difficult, and I know as people, we don't like this up and down and you know, the admin, but unfortunately it must be done. And well, as I said, we are here to help you because it is a once-off. When you have to register your company with CIPC, it's a once-off. Once a year you will have to do an annual return. When you register with SARS, once you register and then you have a tax number. The same with your bank account. Every business must have its bank account. So these are things that you really do need to have when you want to request assistance, you know, whether it's FDC, whether it's DESTEA, National Small Business, SEDA, SIFA, I mean SEVDA, I keep on forgetting that they merged, NYDA and so on. It is really necessary. So I can apologize, but you still have to do it. I'm really sorry, but we'll assist you. You know, as FDC said, even DESTEA, even us as Mangaung, we do assist to register you and so on. You also don't need to pay all that money to consultants. Some of these things are very cheap and some of the things are even free. I'm almost, let me see how far I am on my list here. All right, okay, the issue of okay, that was for DESTEA, I think they responded, NYDO. So I think I am done for now, thank you very much. I'm going to allow my MMC, if I left anything out, she will augment me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Program Director Dumela. I remain Councillor Theodora Mosala, MMC, responsible for local economic development at Mangaung Metropolitan Municipality. It's unfortunate that the gentleman who was speaking about the issue of land accessibility went out, but I will respond nonetheless. We have advertised expression of interest for development of municipal land. That advert is specifically for business people who wants to acquire land for their businesses. That expression of interest was advertised in February. It was supposed to close on the 21st of February, but we extended that advert until tomorrow, the 7th of March. If you are a business person and you want land and you have not applied, please, we have done our part as the municipality. Your part is for you to go to the municipality to buy a document and apply for the land that you have interest on. On the 27th of November last year, we held a business breakfast meeting with all business people of Mangaung. It was chaired and led by the executive mayor. I find it funny, MEC, when people who are here, some of them are saying, as Mangaung municipality, we are not doing anything. It's not true. We met with business people on the 27th. I personally, as the MMC responsible for economic development, we issued out posters. I even went to the community radio stations to invite community to attend that business breakfast so that we can have a clear understanding of the needs of business people within the municipality. The issue of permits for hawkers, madam. I personally held a meeting with hawkers of Bloemfontein, the 4th of December last year, at Floret Hall, Bramfisher Building. I also went to Ntate Thuso Motaung and Motewa FM myself to invite community members of Mangaung. In that meeting, we issued out application forms for permits for all people within Mangaung who have interest to have or to get access or to be issued out with permits to run your businesses within the Mangaung Metropolitan Municipality. Of all the forms we issued out, 1,083 people responded. Of the 1,083 people who responded, 1,005 are Mangaung residents. 78 is foreigners for only hockey stalls. Next week, we will be in Botshabelo and Tabanchu for the same program. If there is anyone, including yourself, who have interest to get a permit from Mangaung, please go to office number 902, get forms, apply and submit, and please comply. Because if you don't comply, we don't do favors for anyone anymore if that happened. Last but not least, this lady spoke something about a man who is working at the institution who wanted to sleep with her in order for her to be able to get a permit. Can you please meet with me? I want to get to the bottom of this. With high rate of GBV in our country, we cannot allow this to happen. The issue of Mangaung SEZ. We are working hand in glove with SALGA. The Council of Mangaung have just adopted
Mangaung Economic Development Strategy, and SEZ is in that document. We will make sure that we inform the community on the progress of Mangaung SEZ moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Bommeli Bontate. Thank you, MMC Musala, Mezen Lockman, Ntate Mutsi, NYDA, Mr. Matia Mkheti. Thank you. Bommeli Bontate, I know there have been a lot of questions concerning funding. But kai harwin netishe. Hona le ba bang ba ba etsang ntho e re bitsang double dipping. O fundiwa ke DESTEA, you get funding from NYDA, you get funding from CIFA, you get funding from National Department. All that money, it's still government money. Whether funding like DSBD from National Department or funding like municipality or DESTEA, it's government money. So if you received funding from DESTEA and NYDA about decline, you still received money. Why are you complaining? I know there's a lot of people, massive money, not even a penny, who have been applying Habasofu money. But others, money, and they still complain. Please, let's not do that. Let's give other people a chance. Yaufumana funding. Because Okasifumani funding every year. Funding this year. Next year, that funding, high Fumanaki Pumla. 2027, high Fumanaki Tati Andre. Please, Bommeli Bontate. Our next speaker, really two last speakers, and then wherever last round here, question and answers, and then we'll be giving over to our MEC. I know you can't wait. Next speaker from IDC. Do we have anybody from IDC? Mr. Thabiso Khotle. 10 minutes in that, not more than that, please.
Dumela, le kae? No, it's been a long day, so ke batla go ba brief, re bue ka point tse bohlokwa, and point tsa ho hopoleha. I think that is what's important. So ke Thabiso Khotle, ke hlaya family ya IDC. We are in West D, Pan Street. We are a regional office linked to the structure national Gauteng. So with us, I want to share the following with everyone that's here. The compliance, it's still applicable to us, but I'm not going to unpack it. I think we've heard enough about compliance. We know by now. Now let's move on. How are you fundable with the IDC? The second thing I want to touch on is the sectors. So as the IDC, the following sectors we do not fund. We do not fund sector services because IDC, the I is for industrial. So we are Industrial Development Corporation. So we can assist with services. We cannot assist with retail businesses. We cannot assist with primary agriculture. So as far as agri is concerned, agro-processing, we can very much gladly, and you consider as people that are in here. Agriculture shouldn't only be about let's start thinking, how can we process this meat to the market? So those are the sectors that we, however, do not look into. The reason for that also is because we have other sister state-owned companies with mandates that can fund that. So we are trying to avoid duplication in the process. So some services, the one that services, because we have issues of double dipping as alluded earlier. Now, what I would like to share also is that often entrepreneurs or people that want to go into entrepreneurship, I like to use rationale supply and demand. I think all of us here have a fair understanding of supply and demand. So how I would like to make this point is as follows. A lot of Batubabona in here, they focus on creating a supply of a product. So to decide on the product they want to do or to produce, they focus on that. They focus on the uniqueness, they focus on I need so many machines to make so much of it, I can make it so much and so on. So the focus is on supplying the product and making it available. But very little work gets done on the demand side. So I want to urge everyone that is here, as fully busy with the concept or an existing business that has a product, put a lot of effort in the demand side. So speaking of demand, I'll relate it to my last point. As the IDC, as one of the sister companies, state-owned companies, we fund a little bit more than our fellow entities. Our minimum funding is from $1 million and above. With that being said, take note of our exposure of funding is much higher. So when your funding is much higher, in the millions plus, there's very much focus on the demand of the product. So the market, we do prefer, we see it very viable when you come to us, okay, client they're gonna buy 30% of my production, I have another one, 20%. 5 of these clients, they can buy at least 80% of my entire production. The other 20, it's a give us the money. So I want to urge everyone, focus on the market. Do not get joy only from creating a product and hope that it will have an uptake in the market. There's a lot of people that fight to get space, Google Spa and the likes. The product is there, it's shelving, but the product is not moving. So you need to ensure that you put the right capabilities and the efforts of moving your product. If you come to us, you are saying, "Ke producer, product now, I can only do so much. Look at my orders. I'm failing to meet this demand. I'm failing to meet these volumes that are required." Now we have a sustainable business and a very fundable and viable business. So, Maholo, I would like to keep it short. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next presenter, Mr. Andrew Setu from SETFA. Is it SETFA or SITFA? Mr. Setu.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good afternoon, MEC. Good afternoon, HOD, senior officials of different entities, and most importantly, the entrepreneurs that are in the house today. My name is Andrew Setu. I'm the branch manager of SETFA in Mangaung. But of course, I'm here to represent SETFA Free State. Perhaps some of you might wonder, what is this SETFA? Just to give you a background, because I don't want to also be too long, because I acknowledge that you've been here, you've been seated here for a while. But SETFA emanates from 3 agencies which were reporting report into the Department of Small Business Development. We had CIFA, we had Cooperative Banking Agency, and then we also had CIFA. Now, these three entities, then they came together, and then CETFA was born. And this happened as of the 1st of October 2024, when this entity was formed, and under the National Small Enterprise Amendment Act. What does CETFA stand for? CETFA stands for Small Enterprise Development and Finance Agency. As you know, previously CEDA would only provide non-financial support, and then CIFA would provide the financial support, and obviously cooperative development banking would then provide support for those cooperatives that would want to formalize themselves and become cooperative banks or cooperative funding institutions. So that is just a little bit of background. Because we are entities that came together, suddenly when we tried to draft a comprehensive presentation, then we got to a region of about 80-something slides just to talk about us, you know, all these entities. But then we realized that, hey, if we are to do this, then it means we'll have to do a presentation of 3 hours. But I don't want to bore you with that much details, except to say there are programs which were advertised, one of which it is Asset Assist program. It opened sometime last year and then closed, sometimes last year in November, and then the closing date of it was in January. As a province, MEC, we received about 1,000 applications. So, of those applications, Mangaung, obviously as a metro, received even a bigger chunk of that, about 480 applications that were received. We are busy processing them. So you stop up also, where are our applications? And then the Cooperative Support Development Program, CDSP, it is also out, but it is closing tomorrow. Applications have been coming through. We are, of course, busy assisting those who want to be assisted with applications. But also just to give you a little bit of stats, in terms of the first applications that we received, we approved a total, in as far as CDSP is concerned, this is a funding for grant funding, by the way, for cooperatives. So the first one that was closed, and then we subsequently purchased equipment for our SMMEs and cooperatives. As a province, about 9 million was approved for CDSP. And then for Asset Assist, we approved about 14 million. That was approved, and then our SMMEs were supported accordingly. But we also, in partnership with WNRCDA, we have gone out and recruit people who own spaza shops. And then of that total number of people that we recruited, we are busy processing the applications, and they will receive a training and subsequently will then buy stock for them. It has already happened early this year, where we bought stock for those who own spaza shops. So that will also be happening again. Now, if you were to ask me again and say, but I've since submitted an application, when are we getting the stock? React. We've done it, and we're gonna do it again. But we are also in part, because now we are CETFA, we no more provide non-financial support, but we also provide a financial support. So, as CETFA, we have a number of offerings, financial offerings that we do. And I'm not going to be too much detailed about them, but except to mention them, and then so that when you are interested, then you can visit us, and then we'll obviously guide you accordingly. So we have what you call direct lending, but also I'm moving around my slides here because we are trying to reduce paper as much as possible. We are trying to go paperless. Now, we have what we call asset finance. Also bridging loans. And bridging loans, in most cases, those who get an order to supply whatever the tender that you received. So when you approach us, we'll also facilitate that funding for you. We have revolving loans, but we also have term loans, but as well as a tourism equity fund. Watuba, the guest house and tour guides and so forth. There was an argument, MEC, at some stage to say, but you are limiting it, your understanding. Apparently it was one of the parliamentary committee members who was saying, it seems like some people are getting this wrong, some of the officials. When you talk about tourism equity fund, it also involves those who have food establishments like here, because you are also in the tourism space. Some of the people who come to an establishment like this are tourists. So it's very broad, that support. So these are the services, just in the nutshell, that we provide. As I said, the compilation of my presentation is about more than 80 slides, so I don't want to bore you with too much details, except to say, in Bloemfontein, our offices are at Bloem Plaza, but we are represented in all the districts in the Free State province. But we also have a national footprint. Also, we have our access points, which also provide our services. So for any further information, I can provide you with my office number. If you want to make an appointment with us, you are welcome to do so. It is 051 411 8300. 051 411 8300. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sito. We're going to change our program slightly. Remember, I was supposed to give you second rounded questions. We're going to make it a working lunch. But it's already ready, and we are afraid that they are senior. So what we're going to do now, our MEC, the profile MEC Chadse Abuwe, after the MEC, then we will allow you to go and get lunch, or I'll just find out from them, or will they bring the lunch to us, and then we'll have a working lunch. Questions will be second round of questions. MMC Viomasala, please come and introduce our MEC.
Thank you once again, Program Director. Without wasting time, let me take this opportunity to introduce MEC Makume. He hails from the dusty street of Sosol. He was once an executive mayor of David district. In fact, the youngest one during the early 2000, from 2001 to 2003. He worked in different provincial government departments and national departments. At some point, he was a deputy director at Department of Education in Free State. He worked in the office of the Minister of Energy, went to office of the Minister of Human Settlement. From there, he came back here in the province as the MEC responsible for human settlement and COCTA. He served in different organizational structures of the ANC
from student movement, your PYA. At some point, he was in the IPC of the ANC. He is currently serving as the Deputy Provincial Chairperson of the ANC in Free State. Ladies and gentlemen, allow you to give you Mr. Toto Makume, the current MEC of DESTEA and Finance.
Thank you. Thank you. Firstly, let me apologize for starting late. Yesterday, we took two important decisions that are going to have an impact on you. One was to appoint the board of the FDC, but the second one was to appoint the Investment and Economic Development Advisory Council. So today, it caused a lot of stir from the media. So including people who just wanted to meet with us on those things. One of the organizations that we met today was the BMF, trying to understand what was the rationale behind our appointments and all that. So that is why we have arrived late. But I sincerely apologize for that. That's number one. Number two, I just want to join in responding to some of the questions that have been asked, so that at least there's a clarity that at the level of the executive authority, there's one, appreciation, but number two, empirical evidence on what we have done, number three, on the way forward, because it is important that we must also, at all material times, try to speak the truth to our people, be honest to what we do, and be honest to the observations that people are making. Now, there has been an issue about registration generally of businesses, whether you register through FDC, whether you want to register through DESTEA and all that. And one complaint that has been coming strong from you is that there seems to be lack of appreciation in terms of agency. Serious. So applications, so people ending up starting to do business trading illegally without those compliance regulations. Number two, the same thing in registration. People are saying it's very funny that with foreign nationals, you guys seems not to be active. Therefore, we are going to join them to do the same because we are doing nothing. Absolutely, they are operating all these things. So I want to respond to that. Number one, it is not the intention of the department for registration to take time. And where people arrive at such things, you need to elevate your matters. If it's in the municipality, you need to go to your ward councillor, go to the MMC, and also go to the mayor. If it's in the department, you go to the HOD, and you go and you report, Ore, Ketso Makume, Kifanika application 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. To date, Ketso Makume, when I visit the office, Ore Untanwati Yekapa is not available. So that the HOD is able to do that. If the HOD is not doing anything, then you elevate it to the executive authority, which is the MEC. But it's not supposed to be that. People are supposed to serve. But what government are called public servants. Rona, but Rebita, the public representatives. So we can't really do any other thing except to serve you. We are expected to serve you. There could be delays that are caused by other things, but this about delay caused one. Now, number two, I'm going to discourage people who will say because foreign nationals are doing wrong things, we are going to do wrong things. First and foremost, foreign nationals, it is not their country, this one. No, because in that one, Harry makes in the Temakuman sets a mantle, Lina glances a garden room. Omo one sets a camaring, Hausanam Tanka toilet, so, but because it's your country, you can't do things in the same way other people are doing. What we need to do is to force government to enforce the law. Simple, we don't break the law. We say to government, enforce the law. Why are you sleeping on your duties? We know of some of the officials who are taking bribes from these foreign nationals. So when we know them, report them so that we are able to take action. We will not do anything because you are seated with the information, but these illegal activities, they are continuing. So we really need to do something. But we can't allow a situation where we say, these ones are breaking the law, therefore we are going to break the law. That one we are not going to accept it. I've just said FDC has been appointed as a board. There was one question and a concern about FDC. That at times FDC will say, we don't fund this kind of a business or trade. I'm happy that our FDC has responded to that. Because when I was appointed, I think on the 4th of July, I met with all FDIs, State and Mo Free State. One of the things I said to them was that you guys need to work together. You can't come and complain here as FDI, sorry, no la double deep. You must find a system that says, if I have applied, go SIFDA. If I get approval, go SIFDA. The system must be able to tell FDC, must be able to tell the other entities, so that you don't get double dipping. So we can't come here and complain as government. We need to rectify our system. So, and the other thing was this one where I said, if you get to FDC or IDC and they say, we don't fund your business, at least they must be able to say, but try this one and that one and that one. Don't say we don't fund your business and you leave people very demoralized. These were my conversations with them. I'm also disappointed today. I wanted them to come with their stalls so that if it's possible from here, you can go outside to a stall and get assisted. So they come and make presentations like us as politicians, it's wrong. They must come and work. I've met with the minister of the DTIC. I said to him, I want to lobby you with one thing only. Please make all the FDI's offices in the province to be permanent. The one problem in Lanka, your offices are not permanent. But one about Habaratamu. Then the regional offices is on ki ratas. Baya ya mshamba ya nini ngalibatoli every time I win a guy no win a program ya premier. I was told that there was a program ya premier today. I said no, that's a lie. There's no way that I can organize this event then premier have organized the program. They are not coming because they are committed somewhere. But after I make one call, they are here, they are able to present. So we must then sort out the issue of the system so that we are able to serve our people. This will help you. You know why Gauteng is an advantageous position? One person talks about Gauteng. Gauteng has almost everything, colleagues. They've got people who are brave, who can do everything. But the other thing, they are closer to access of opportunities. The provincial, the national government to start with, they've got offices there. But we are living on building, no, but we don't receive assistance from these FDIs. Rona, FDIs are the manager, whereas they can just walk, national department, get assistance. Other than that, they still have provincial departments. So that is why we want that parks, let's also have our own offices here so that we sort out this thing. It's going to help us a lot because if you don't get assistance from the regional office, Sifta for instance, you can go to provincial office and get a recourse. So it's going to be easy for us to do that. So it's something that we have lobbied to. I think most of the business ideas that are here are the business ideas that we want. And these are the business ideas that we want to fund. We don't want business people who only rely on government. We want startup help or whatever. Then we are able to stand on your own and do your work. So let me show you what I've just noticed in this some few weeks ago. Woolworths now of late is selling the neck le dipelo tsa kgoho, le dikilana tsa kgoho. And this, le dikgorolo ke tseo. And these things used to be our own markets. So if we encourage him to do what he said he's going to do, and start to negotiate with these bigger businesses and say, please, reke these things from here. I'm going to tell you one of the things that is around here in the Free State. Please buy these things from here. We've got this guy who's processing these things right here. So that they can then start to grow their business. In the past, you'll never see those things, but we have them now. Because they've seen that it's a market that they can also use. The fight I'm going to take now is the fight with these outlets, the national ones, and the fast foods. One of them is going to be Nando's. We're not hiding it. The question we're asking is, why Horekua Ditapule outside Free State? It's and the chips, it's Nando's. Their market is in Gauteng. It's not here. But we are the one who are actually producing these potatoes. So we are trying to say to them, it's going to be cheaper for you if Nando's Free State, you buy potatoes from here. But we can even go further than that and say, let all the fast food shops start to think about that. For everything that we produce in the Free State, buy it from Free State. And then we make it a campaign. If you don't buy, we don't also shop from you. Simple. One guy at this meeting is the guy who said, the only thing that we can rely on is our collective buying and the collective purchasing or production. Okay, this meeting completely. Because anything that we are going to complain about it,